Well, first thing with this Elite Skewb is we've got to get these edges reduced, so all 4 pieces there, and I'm going to start with these 2. So some of them, the first couple, you can just, if you can find them, you can just move them up because there's nothing else in the way. So those 2 are done. I might look around here. I'm looking for an orange yellow or a green yellow somewhere. There's an orange yellow, so I can just turn that around to here. So you'll notice every time that the orange yellow, if it's sort of on the left one here, there's the right, there's the left, the other orange yellow will be on the right. So again, there's only this one done, so I can just turn that up and that one's done. That's just luck, don't worry about that. So once you've got a couple, I've managed to get a third one there, you can't just turn them up anymore, so what do? Well, we still want to place the piece that we want in the position that we want, which is down here to turn up or down here to turn up. So I see here that I've got a green white that can go up to that green white. So effectively, you'll notice that when I turn it up, whether I turn this one up or this one up, and in this case I'll turn the bottom one up here, all I really care about now is these ones here. Are they done or not? Or these ones here. At this stage I turned the right hand side up, so I'm going to focus on these ones, because if these are not done I can just replace this through here, and that's what I'm going to do. I've just formed the 2 green whites, so I'm going to replace it with, let's say, that one there. So very simple, turn that position down, turn the new one onto the position, and then undo those moves. And once that's done, you'll see there's my newly formed green white. I've got to move what I moved back, so I think it was the lower one, and I can tell that because those 2 come back together. And there's another one. So that's all I'm doing to get these done. I'll just do one more. Well, there's a green red, so I can see that green red needs to go up to there. And because I turned sort of the left side of the cube up, I'm just going to involve these ones, and I look and see that one's done, so I definitely want to replace it with this one here. So turn that position down, put my, this is where it gets a little bit annoying sometimes. There we go, put that on there and undo those moves. And what we'll see again is that the green reds have now been done, and I had to get this one turned back so that it remakes the ones I already had. So that's all I'm going to do for all, how many are there? 12 of these things initially. Next thing, once they're done, is to fill in these little squares. So there'll be 24 of them. And initially I'll just show you with one of them. So we've got the white blue part of the edge here, and I need to get a white square there. Where I want to put that is the same place I was looking at before, so down this region here, or else this region here, so it can just be turned up. So initially, if there's not one there, I'm looking around to see if there's one that I can just turn. There's not there. There are a couple over here. I could actually take my pick for that one there or that one there, so I just need to turn the whole thing, and just make sure when you're turning, obviously you don't want to break up what you've just done here, so you want to just turn the whole thing. And that white is up there. So this is the most complicated part of the whole solve, and it's not really that complicated. So all I want to do is, just before I carry out the move, just get myself another one down here. And I'm just going to turn this one. For now, I won't even consider what color it is or anything. I just want that to be there. So to get this done, I want to do an up, down, down, with just the slices. Now when you try this on a solved cube, you'll see what's actually happening. Not a whole lot's moving, but it's more than just this. There's a few other things over the back there. So we need to, once that has been put where we want it, we need to again replace this with this thing here. So how am I going to do that? I can do it either side. I'm left-handed, so I normally go down the left side here, bring that up, return that, return that. This is basically exactly the same move as I did previously. And now that I have got that safely stored, what I want to do is undo the move that put the white piece up here. So you remember it was up, up, down, down, and I started on the left with the slices. So to reverse it, I'm going to start on the right. just the slices, of course. And last one. Here we go, all back. Now when you come down to the last few, you might end up with just a swap. So I've got this green, this red that have to swap and no other pieces need doing. What that means is really you need a 3 cycle involving one of these other colours. So if I look, the red's got to go up to that red edge. This green needs to go to a green edge, and I notice that I need a green square here. So what that tells me is that this piece needs to be a completed green piece. Once that's done, I'll just set that up in position and then carry it all out. Okay, that's the end of them. So you can see all of those edges are now reduced. And now what I need to do for the next little bit is, this is much easier, this little bit, but it's the same kind of thing. I have been holding the puzzle like this, so this is kind of the, I've got a front face and an up face in that order. I just want to sort of turn it now and focus on this, because I'm going to be using these ones, so I want to reduce these little bits here. So that needs to be red. And what I'm trying to do is find a piece in the corresponding area that's going to turn up, so where this orange piece is. So if I can't just find it instantly, I just turn to another one. I can't be bothered looking for it, so I'll just say I need this to be a white. Ah, look, there's a white there. So that's the position it needs to be in so that it can turn up to that position there. Now, once I'll just carry out exactly what we're doing, first of all, for the first time. So all it is the following. You just need to turn up that slice, just the slice to put the two together, and then you might be able to see this, this, and this. We're just going to do a 3 cycle, an up, up, down, down, to replace this with either that or that. It doesn't matter which one. If you turn the left side up first, it'll replace it with that one. So that's what I'm going to do. Up, up, down, down, and then just undo that slice turn that I did. And what you'll see is that the piece that I had up here, the 2 whites, are now safely down there. You'll also notice nothing else has been disturbed. So let's try that again and see if we can be... actually, I'm not going to do this one because it's 2 of the same colour. That's a little boring. What about this one? Got a yellow over here somewhere? No. Okay, here's one. So I've got to get a green to go to there, so I notice the green is in position. That's good. Now, like last time, I'm going to also think, what do I need to go back to here? And I notice I'll need that to be a white. And so I'm looking for here or here for the upper piece to be a white. And it is. So that's great, because that means I will get my green pair done, and I'll also get this white to come back there, which will get the white pair done. So I'll turn that up. Then an up, up, down, down. And then turn it back down. And you can see the white is done and the green is done over there. I'm just going to keep doing that till they're all done. So when all of those things have been reduced, this cube is now basically a master Skewb. And so I'll just solve it as I would a master Skewb. The first thing for me is to make sure all the corners are correctly in position. They don't have to be solved, but I just have to get the corners right first. So notice this can't be right, white here and white there, so I'm just going to perhaps turn that one. So this is fine now, because I know that if I rotated this corner, the white would be up there, the red would be down there. So that matches, so that's white, red, blue. The one that's supposed to be here is a white, blue something, and I'll find that there. And then a white, orange, green, so the whites are all good. And then just making sure that all the ones above are also correct, and you can see red, green, green, orange, green, orange. So the corners are now in position. Now I want to keep them in that position for the rest of it. Well, I'll tell a lie. I want to make sure that I do an even number of turns always. So I don't ever want to do something like this and not undo that turn, because that'll just get the corners out of position and that'll cause problems later on. So with those corners done, the edges have to be placed. So I normally just, you can do any edges you like, but I normally try and do the white ones. So this orange This orange here, this is a great example of not just doing the following. If I put that white orange there, I've mucked up the corners. So what I need to do is do an even number of turns. So something like that. So there's always an even number of turns. The white orange is in, you'll see the corners are still there. So I'm going to go place all the edges just using that normal routine. All of the edges are done. The next thing is to do all these bits in the middle, including the centers. So the first thing I normally do, we do it a face at a time, and so it's not essential to get all the other centers done, but I like to do that. I don't know why. So to get this white center over to there, I'm just going to up, up, down, down. I've got the green, the white. This one's supposed to be red. I'll deal with that in a minute. This one's supposed to be orange, so I'll put the orange into there first of all. Much easier to do them if they're sort of three around a corner, like 1, 2, 3, like that. So the way now to do this is just choose a face, and I normally choose a face which has 2 done if I can. So the green here would work, or the white, whatever I want. I'll do the green. And the thing we're trying to do is to just turn a piece in and get it in there somehow. That sounds incredibly technical, so let me explain better what I mean. Alright, so first thing is I would like to get this piece up to there, and the way to do that is just to flip this whole thing. So with this move I can flip any 2 of 3 adjacent, I don't know what to call these things. So I would like to flip this one, so the green's up there, and I don't care about these because nothing's happened there yet. So to flip them, I go up, up, down, down. Now you'll notice that that green, yellow used to be over here. I need to get it back to here, but to flip it, I turn its position across there first, and then move it down onto its position, and then undo those moves. And you'll see that that has flipped that one. It actually also flipped this one here and left this one as it was. Now why did I do that? Because the key technique apart from that, apart from being able to flip, is to now be able to turn this onto the face which has the green. Now you'll notice at the moment when I turn it back, I want the green to be there. How do I achieve that? I flip it. So I'll do that again. There we go, that's flipped that. Again, at this stage I don't care about anything else, so it's pretty easy. Now I'm going to turn the green back. What do? I just look at the edges and say, well, they must be over here. And you'll see that that green has now been filled there. And that leaves me only one piece to do here, so I've got to find where that green is. I'm going to want the same thing to happen here. Now, because it's fairly straightforward at this stage, what I can try and do is firstly turn that up. In fact, I'm going to do that secondly. So I'm going to turn the green that I want onto that face. I'm then going to turn the receiving face up. So I want to flip this. Now, does anything else matter that it's going to be flipped? No, because nothing else has been done. So I'm just now going to flip this in the same way. That there. Okay, that's been done. Now I just have to undo the setups in the order that I did them. So I think this one was last, and then I look at the edges. That's reds, that's blues. They've got to be up there. So all the edges are back where they belong, and that green face has been done. Now honestly, that's all that's happening. You just do it one face at a time, and you get the hang of it. It's actually really, really simple. Now all of those bits have been done, so the only thing left is the corners. The corners might have been moved out of position, but because we got the corners properly into position initially, they will now happily go back where they should be. You'll notice, say, the white, green, red here has to go there, and the one here, white, blue, orange, has to come back here. So there'll always be 2 plus 2 swaps. So a swap of 2 here, and I would imagine yellow, green, orange, yellow, blue, red also will have to swap. And so to get them into position, we just need to do 3 up, up, down, downs. Okay. Now they're not necessarily rotated correctly or oriented correctly, but they are in position. And so there's only 8 of them, so that's taking care of 4. So the other 4 will be these here and these here. Okay, now all of the corners are now in position. Some might be correctly oriented. And I'm pretty sure there's an easier way to orient the corners, but I forget it, so I'm just using the way that I always remember, which is, I don't know, it's longish, but it does the job. It's very simple. You'll notice that I just ended up swapping 2 corners with that move. So what I'm going to do is basically swap them out and then turn one face to set it up correctly and then swap them back in. Does that sound bizarre? Probably. Alright, let's go. So to swap them, all I care about is I'm only worrying about these 2. The 2 at the bottom will swap and then swap back, but I'm not interested in them. So the green, white, orange is going to put over there. So out it goes. Okay. Now, you'll notice that, or you may have noticed when they swapped, what happened to the positioning of the stickers. What is important is that this green will come back to that position. So what I'm going to do is to get the green face up to that position before I return it. So I'll just make that turn there. And we can do this because the only 4 corners that are affected is this one, this one, this one, and this one. And so turning that face, all it does is get the position right for this one here. You'll notice also, almost by magic, this is an orange sticker and it's now going to go back onto that orange face, which is exactly what we want. So now I do the swap again. And with that swap being done, I then undo this turn, which is extremely easy to see. And you'll notice that corner is done, that corner is done. And that's honestly all I'm doing. I've got 4 more, so I just have to do swaps across the face here. So I might do this one. So we'll firstly take them out. And then I don't need to turn the front face. I can look at this and say that's blue, so I'd like a blue to be on the top. And again, magically the red sticker will go and place here. Okay, and then I can turn that blue back. 2 to go, so I just line them up and do the same thing. Don't blame me, I didn't make the puzzle. Okay, that's a green, so let's get the green. You'll notice, by the way, these corners down here I've swapped as well, but they're just going to swap back as we do it. Here we go, put that back and every corner is done, and in fact the whole Elite Skewb is now solved.